Hi, this is CK at CK Education, and today I want to talk about the very important topic of whom you listen to. I think one of the biggest mistakes in life is listening to the wrong person or listening to the wrong people. Now, some people listen to everybody. They try to get as many opinions and as much feedback as they can before they make a decision. Now, this may seem initially to be wise. I'm just trying to get a lot of different views. I'm just trying to get a lot of ideas. I'm trying to listen to everyone's perspectives before I make a decision. But the problem with that is, how would you know which decision is correct? How would you know which way to go? So if you listen to 20 people and they all give you differing opinions, which one do you know? How do you know which one is the one to go with? Is it the most popular one? The one that is a crowd pleaser? The one that most people think is the right thing? The thing that most people think is the right way to go? I think that's a very poor way to make decisions, because I learned in life and in my experience, I've learned that the vast majority of people are usually led astray in most things. Whether you talk about health or money or relationships or happiness or your spirituality or business or academics or whatever the thing is, I found that what the vast majority of people do, what is commonly known as, quote, common wisdom, is not so common and is not so wise. It's usually not the right thing to do. The right thing to do and the right path is usually lesser known. And so you can't just go off of popular opinion. And this is a problem with social media, and this is a problem with the digital age and the internet world we live in. Everybody wants to go off of, what the popular vote, who has the most, like, the most views, the most subscriptions, the most followers. It's not really that important how many followers, how many views, how many likes, how many subscriptions, how many whatever, or what other people's opinions are, what other people's reviews are. Now, certainly you can learn from everybody, and we should have that mindset of learning from everybody. We should have what I called in previous videos a white belt mentality, right? We can learn from everybody. We should always be humble and say, I don't know everything. There's always things that I can learn. But when it comes to really, really important decisions in life, and how to attain happiness, and how to attain, you find your purpose in your life, and how to manage your money properly, and how to take care of your health, and how to have a good relationship, and picking the right friends, and so on and so forth. When you think about the real important things in your life, it's usually not what everybody else is doing. It's usually not just following the crowd that's going to get you there. So one of the ways that you can narrow down whom you should listen to and how you know whom you should listen to is, first of all, whatever the thing is, if you're trying to, let's just, I give the example of, if you want to be an entrepreneur and you want to be a successful business person, successful entrepreneur, you wouldn't want to go to someone who has a PhD in business, or a PhD in business, maybe a PhD in finance, or a master's in finance, or a person with an MBA, basically a person with a degree in economics. Or you wouldn't want to necessarily go to somebody like that, because that person may have a degree in that. They've read a lot of books, they've done a lot of research, they've maybe written a lot of papers, maybe even got published, but they really haven't run a business on their own. They've never run a business before. They've never hired people before. They've never really made money before in a business that they started. So if you want to be, for example, a successful entrepreneur, what should you do? Well, what I did is I went to people who actually succeeded as entrepreneurs, people who were actually successful, who actually made money in that thing. And I sought out those people and I said, what do those people know that I don't know? A whole lot. And so I had to learn a whole lot. And I learned that there was a completely different way to become a successful entrepreneur that was different than what I had learned in school, than what I had learned even, I have a master's in business administration and I have an MBA myself, but I tell students all the time, I didn't learn anything in my MBA program that I thought was helpful in making my business a success. I really learned almost nothing there that I learned helped me. But these people and these authors and the people who were very successful as entrepreneurs, when I read those works, when I read their books, when I talked to those people, when I looked at how those people did it and what kind of philosophy and what kind of mindset they did they were successful, and what made them successful, man, that was a game changer. That was a totally different thing. It's the same thing that comes with health, same thing that comes with academics, same thing with career success. Anything that you can name that you say, I want to get good at that, I want to improve at that thing. You always have to be careful only to listen to people who have actually done it. And if they haven't done it, then you really should not be talking to those people. You don't know how many times I've heard students say to me, well, everybody said, everyone said, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, you shouldn't listen to everybody. You should only listen to experts. And when I say experts, I don't mean people with graduate degrees. When I say experts, I mean people who have actually done the thing, okay? It doesn't really matter about degree. It doesn't really matter what school they went to. That really has nothing to do with anything. It has to do with experience. It has to do with tried and true experience. If someone does not have experience in the thing that you want advice on, you should not be listening to that person. I tell some of my older students, look, when you guys start making money and you have a good amount of money in the bank, you say, you know what, maybe I want to invest that money. Some of you are going to go to the bank and you're going to say, oh, you guys have an investment arm as well. So can I talk to an investment advisor? And they'll say, oh, sure. Let me introduce you to Mr. Jones over here. So Mr. Jones comes over and he introduces himself. He has a nice suit on. He's going to take you to his little office over there. And he's going to explain to you the different kinds of funds that they have and the different things that you can invest your money in. And it's going to sound very impressive. He's going to show you graphs and he's going to show you 20-year, 30-year history of this fund where you can invest your money and you can potentially, grow your money. And he has all these charts and all this data. But that has nothing to do with whether you should invest your money in that thing. And I always tell people, you should not listen to that guy, okay? Why? Unless you go to that guy first and say, hey, Mr. Jones, before we begin, before you show me your charts, before you show me all this stuff, I understand that, okay, I want to ask you a question. Whatever you are about to recommend to me, do you have your money in that thing? Whatever you are recommending to me, have you made money in that thing? If you're going to recommend that I put my money in this and such stock or such and such, mutual fund or whatever, have you made a lot of money doing what you're telling me to do? Or, now this may not be something you just say out loud, but my point is this. Or if you ask them, or are you making your living by just making commission off of people like me? If I invest my money, you get a commission. Is that how you make your money? You make your money by telling people to invest in that thing, but you don't actually invest in that thing. And if that's the case, which is mostly the case, which is in the vast majority of cases, that is the case. And if that is the case, you should stay far away from that bank. You should not listen to that guy. That guy has no experience putting his own money into the thing that he's telling you to put your money into. So why would you put your money into that? Why would you listen to that guy? Because he works for a bank? Because he has a degree in finance? Because he has that has nothing to do with it. You have to listen to people who have experience in the thing that they're talking about. And I learned in life that talk is cheap. Talk is easy. Anybody can talk. Anybody can say, oh, this, and make a great presentation. But action is where it's at. Experience is really where it's at. So if someone has no experience and they're telling you things that they have no experience in, I would just sort of start tuning them out. I wouldn't listen to those people. Now, I want to be very careful here. I'm not saying you should be disrespectful to people you love. But sometimes those people are parents. Sometimes those people are your spouses, your spouse. Sometimes that person is your spouse. Sometimes those people are your close friends who mean well, who may care for you, who may love you. But again, that doesn't necessarily mean that the advice that they give you is good. Especially with parents. Parents love to give their kids advice. And I, as a parent myself, I hope that I give good advice to my kids. But I don't want to give them advice on things that I have no knowledge, or let's say I have no experience in. I may have knowledge in a thing, but if I have no experience in that thing, I try to be very careful in not giving people advice on those things. I am very careful in when I give advice, it is all based on experience. I've done it. And if I say, I don't think this works, it's probably because I put my money in there and I tried it for 10 years and it didn't work, or I saw very limited results. If I say that something works, is because I've done that. I've experienced it firsthand. Otherwise, I don't want to make a video about that. I don't want to advise people on that. I don't want to recommend anything that I don't know about, that I don't know anything about, that I have no experience in. So I advise you to do the same. Not only should you not take advice from people who have no experience doing that thing, you should not give advice on things that you have no experience in. There's plenty of people out there who are experts who have experience. Let them advise those people. But if you have no experience, it's best if we just keep quiet and just stay back, okay? Because we're probably doing more harm than good by leading people astray if we're giving people advice based on just theory, just based on just, I read a book on it, or I heard from someone, or I read on the internet. That's not enough to give someone good advice on. So it goes both ways, okay? So who should you listen to? You should listen to people who have experience in that thing. And if you yourself are giving advice, don't give advice on things that you have no experience in. I think that doesn't do anyone any good, and it only just furthers the confusion out there already. So I hope that makes sense. I have a lot of videos on my channel. I have over 100 videos. I upload a new video every single day, just like I do today, and I did today. So if you thought this video was helpful to you, and I hope it was, then there are many other videos on mindset for success, career success advice, and parenting advice, and money and personal finance advice, and even college prep advice for students, high school students. So I cover it all in my channel, so I encourage you to check out many of my channels. I also will have a link to the playlist that this video is in this video, and you can click on that and you can watch all the videos that have to do with mindset for success. And so anyway, thank you so much again for watching this video up to this point. I hope it was helpful, and until my next video, I hope you stay well.